Breaking news today, killer of schoolboy Harvey Wilgoose sentenced to minimum of 16 years as he's named for the first time. Alright, place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving, less than evens if you think he's going to be named after Mighty Mo. In fact, I'm not comfortable taking bets at that price, are we? It's a foregone conclusion. We know he's going to be named after Mighty Mo. They all are. I'll tell you what, I'll take bets on whether or not his parents are first cousins. I mean, that's only like a 60% likelihood, isn't it? Right then, this will surprise absolutely nobody, will it? I was going to do a video all about Ireland today because I take requests and someone asked for that in the comments yesterday. So I will get to that. The numbers from the Republic of Ireland are staggering, by the way. I'll get to that shortly, but I did feel like I should cover this because it's breaking news. Not really news to people that pay attention, is it? We know where the killer's going to come from because the conspiracy theorists have been proved right, haven't they? Essentially, after the likes of Rudu Kanubu and world's biggest party pooper, hissing Libyan Salman Abedi, after events like that, I mean, it's quite obvious. Plus the endless demoralisation of people that look like me, basically brainwashing you and telling young girls that having children's stupid and they should chase a vapid career instead, all the while importing 25 million hairy-ass blokes from the third world. I guess it's not really a conspiracy theory anymore, is it? The only question that's left now about the whole white genocide thing is how fast are they going to keep outright killing you rather than just taxing you into oblivion so you can't afford children while paying third world chavs to have 20 each? Are they going to take the direct approach via knife to little girl's face at a dance class? Or the slow, steady decline of strangling you with prohibitive taxes so you can barely feed yourself, let alone your kids, while the invaders multiply like wet gremlins? Anyway, onto the story. In a move that'll surprise absolutely nobody, the lad that killed him looked like this. The perpetrator was a wee bit dusky and the victim was a wee bit pasty. Harvey's family say they are haunted by the CCTV footage of the events and are exhausted by the trauma. It is clear Harvey was a popular pupil whose students and teachers held in affection. Their lives will have been blighted by your actions. Khan looks at the judge with a neutral expression and occasionally glances around the room. Amusingly, the defence said Mr. Hussain armed himself and stabbed someone to death, but he wasn't intending to inflict any harm that day. Yeah, he was just scratching him. Yeah, he said, "Here, mate, will you get that for me? I can't get that behind my shoulder blade there." And he went, "Of course I will, mate." With a carving knife. That's how they scratch themselves in the third world. He's new, so he didn't know, here you just use, like, your fingernails. He was, of course, defended by Gul Nawaz Hussain. I think that's Saddam Hussein's brother. And as usual, he was constantly being excluded from school for carrying knives, but nobody did anything about it. And you'll be pleased to know that he's been sentenced to a minimum of 16 years. So he'll definitely do a minimum of 16 years. And he'll be out when he's in his 30s, so he can meet his mates for a post-jail party above a kebab shop in Luton and bang a 10-year-old girl like a barn door in a hurricane. And the government will do less than nought about any of it. Marvellous. So there's a great story to open with. That's just to wet your whistle. Now on to the request. Neil Higgins here asked, Bootneck, please do a comprehensive report on what's happening here in Ireland. Now, I'm very flattered by that, Neil, because that suggests that I'm a serious journalist and not merely a chippy northern wanker talking bollocks on the internet. So thanks for that, you've promoted me. So I'm going to look into this. I'll do my best. I will say that I think one of the problems here is the Irish are nice. Nice, good-humoured, good-natured people, the Irish. What they need is a miserable English prick like me to get on the case. So I'm happy to oblige. Just yesterday, a man was in court charged with the obvious on a 10-year-old girl. The BBC likes to use tame language. So let's put that one to bed straight away. Elon Musk mentioned this. He didn't merely sexually assault a 10-year-old girl. That suggests he sort of like did a bit of groping while she was on the subway or something. No, he violently and viciously horsed one into her, and he never should have been in the country in the first place. That's what happened. In fact, I'm not even going to call... He's not a man, he's a creature. So for the purposes of this article, we'll just call him the foreign diddler. A foreign diddler appeared in court in Dublin, charged with the obvious on a 10-year-old who was in the care of the Irish Child and Family Agency. Brilliant. So it's great to know that our Irish chums have an openly hostile state just as much as their neighbours across the Irish Sea. The incident is alleged to have happened in the early hours of Monday morning. A 26-year-old foreign diddler was charged with assaulting the young girl at Garter Lane, Saggart, contrary to Section 2 of the Criminal Law Amendment Act. Who cares about the waffle of the law? A foreign diddler donkeyed one into a child. Someone must heft the brick of justice at this point, methinks. And that's funny, isn't it? The man cannot be named because of the Republic of Ireland's rules around sexual assault cases. Oh, that's a funny coincidence, eh? Maybe that's what the amendment was. If a foreign man diddles an Irish girl, you can't tell anyone unless he's called Seamus O'Malley. Of course, the accused was granted free legal aid after the court was told he wasn't working, and you can't tell anyone what he's got. Is this a sick joke? Honestly, the Irish are unbelievable. You think you're getting the piss took out here in England? The Irish have extended that legendary Irish hospitality to the worst scum on planet Earth. It's unbelievable. The first two paragraphs are like, oh, we can't tell you what he's called because he's foreign. He's not working because he's foreign. And he's getting everything for free and legal aid because he's foreign. And judging by the intro to that story, she was like a ward of the state. So what did they do? He politely requested a gobble off a 10-year-old, so they just went and found him one, threw her in, and then locked the door. It's unbelievable. The Irish state is clearly genuinely hostile and malevolent towards the Irish people, just like the English people. So it's nice to know that we're bonding, just like the good old days. It's almost like we're the same country still. Ironic, isn't it? He was at least remanded in custody, so there's the only silver lining on the cloud, and a defence solicitor requested an Arabic interpreter. So what's the point in not naming him? Not many blokes from Kilkenny need an Arabic interpreter, is there? You may as well just put his name. I'll give you a clue. It starts with an M and it ends in Ahmed. Following on from this, the Irish, being much, much more sensible than their English cousins, obviously started kicking off about it rather than tamely and timidly accepting the fact that the children are being purposely buggered by foreign men on behalf of the Irish government, with multiple arrests made, police vehicles set alight. And if you're daft enough to not pay attention and you think they're just overreacting, do I need to remind you of some of the big stories that have come out of Ireland this year? Do I need to bother? I'm sure with my audience I probably don't, but I'll cover just a couple of the big ones. This handsome fella, Yusuf Polani, if you don't remember, savagely murdered Michael Snee and Aidan Moffat in Sligo last year. This was proper Hollywood movie-style psychopathy, and I believe he kept their heads in his freezer or something ridiculous. He was, of course, foreign, and he was, of course, driven by a hostility towards homosexuality, which, you're not allowed to call someone a contraction for a cigarette these days, but if you're foreign, you can lop a few heads off and the government will run cover for you. And you might remember this woman being killed by her ex because he feared losing access to a child after she reported him for abuse. Jan Baz Tarin subjected Raneem Ude to a campaign of violence in that was Solihull, wasn't it? Sorry. So many foreign murderers, so little time. Just 4 days ago, you don't even have to wait more than a week these days, a teenager was charged with the murder of Ukrainian 17-year-old in Dublin. So both the perpetrator and the victim were foreign. And I don't need to name the nationality of the murderer. Let's just say he had googly eyes, teeth like a dead sheep, and shared 99.87% of the DNA with the bloke who hijacked the boat on the Captain Phillips movie. I think that says enough about the perpetrator, if you catch my drift. Mary Ward was violently murdered in Belfast by a bloke named Ahmed Abdirahman. I've been assured that he was actually called Ahmed Abdirahman, but the Guardian couldn't afford to pay a typist to finish his name. The very aptly named Randy Gladstone from Guyana, who had 19 previous convictions in the UK, including surprise sex enthusiasm, kidnapping, robbery and false imprisonment, he moved to Ireland last March and has been given more time in custody for having failed to inform the authorities he was a sex offender. That's not really the big issue. The big issue is that he was living in budget accommodation in Dublin, contributed absolutely nothing to Ireland, and kidnapped and diddled an 18-year-old woman at a holiday complex after luring her into his room. Amazing. Kamal Kumar Nepali, 24, of Ballincollig, County Cork, of course that's where he's from, was sentenced to 9 years for breaking into a house and having a quick blast on a young woman while she slept. And the hilariously named Mohammed, 26, and yes, he is another one of the crew from Captain Phillips, was jailed for chasing a woman into a toilet and trying to give her the good news. And he said, it's not that big of a deal, because at least I said please. Anyway, to quote Captain America, I can do this all day. I can do this all day. The sheer volume of horrific atrocities being meted out to the Irish people at the hands of filthy foreign diddlers beggars belief. And it was all done on purpose. And the final icing on the cake, that this number staggered me when I stuck it in Grok just to get, a basic heads up on what the numbers might be. This genuinely amazed me. As of early 2025, approximately 23% of Ireland's population is foreign born. This is based on the latest Eurostat data showing 22.6 as of January 1st, 2024. Unbelievable. So it's going to be higher than that. It's not going to have just gone up 0.4% in a year and a half, is it? It's probably about 40%. So there's my investigation for you, lads. Ireland is speedrunning the lamentable British project. Sorry, it's the whole European project at this point. Because the Irish were daft enough to fall for the endless lies of the mafia that runs Europe, the EU. That detestable, evil, authoritarian organisation. And enter the Schengen zone. So now it's party time in Ireland. If you're a foreign man with low anger management, a high sex drive, and a big floppy cock, it's party time. Get yourself over there, lads. You'll have a whale of a time. And the guard eye will spend more time worrying about blokes complaining about it than they will about foreign diddlers doing a bit of diddling. So there's my investigation. Ireland's knackered. Misery loves company. So there's the silver lining. And we can all watch our nations burn together. Or we can get very, very, very pissed off and we can do something about it. I'll leave it up to you to decide which is the wiser course of action. All right? Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. That'll have to do you. I will see you all tomorrow. Please leave a comment down below if you think it's a great idea importing 25 million foreign diddlers. And I'll see you all tomorrow. All right? Toodle pip. Cheers.